Hi and welcome back. It's the final video. Um, we're going to touch up the appearance of our dashboard in this video. So let's start moving things around. So we have all our visuals, but now it's not really looking great, right? Let's touch it up a bit. Um, I would like to first of all start by creating a side pane like this side. That's why I left this space, and that's where my filters are going to be. That's where I want to keep my filters. So, you know what? Let's get a shape. So let's insert a shape. Hold on, we've not saved our work so far, so I'm going to do Control S to save. Ensure all the progress we've made is saved. So save. So I'm going to save it as hospital with East. I'm going to call it hospital with East analytics. So I'm going to save that. And I'm going to do you one better. I'm going to actually also upload this file to the video just so you can, so I'm getting an error saying hospital with this isn't a valid part. I'm going to cancel all this process and start again. So let's just save as, I'm going to save it in IT spend files. Well, you know what, let's just browse this device and select a folder to save it in. So it's in that data mapping PG. Let's create a new folder and call it dashboard. And let's save it in that dashboard. Let's call it hospital waitlist analysis. Right, and let's save this. So it's saved. All right, so now let's start with our visualization. And I was going to insert a shape. So I'm going to insert a shape. I'm going to insert a rectangle. And let's just bring this here and bring this here like this. We're going to adjust the color. So style, I prefer white with no borders. So great, so it's looking okay. It's looking okay. We need a logo. But first I want to drag this my slicer down here, and I want it to be vertical, so I'm just going to adjust it as such. And yeah, so we have it there. I can always, my users, again, this is currently on top of the slider, so I can right click on this guy and I want to send it to the back. So right click, or just, there's a way to order it. Let's just go to format and send to the back. That way my sliders can be on top of it. So my sliders are now on top of it. So it's at the back. So okay, so now we have that slider here, and I can always select what I want. I feel like we should get a logo for this. So let's bring in a logo. Let's search for hospital, fake hospital logo, fake hospital logo. See if we find some. So yeah, there's one that says fake hospital. So we're gonna use this guy. And maybe we're gonna stick to this color schema. So let's save this guy, save image as, and I would also save it in that our working folder so you guys have access to it as well. Let's save it as fake logo, fake FK logo. So I'm going to save it here. So it's saved. So I'm going to bring in that logo into our dashboard. So let's import or insert rather, insert an image, and it's this fake logo.jpg, and we'll bring it in to fake logo, fake hospital rather. So let's just adjust the size and drag it here. It has a gray background. I don't like it. I do not like it. The picture itself has a gray background. I want the background to match with my dashboard, my white dashboard background. So maybe we change the logo. Maybe we change the logo. We use this guy. Nah, not feeling it. I'm usually very picky when it comes to selecting stuff. Let's just do this. This looks. Well, I don't think this has a white background as well. You know what? We just use this. This has a white background. Save image as. So I'm going to call this another fake logo. The file format won't work. It's not in JPEG format. Let's try this one. Save image as. It's a PNG, so this is not gonna work. Okay, last one, I promise. Save image as. Okay, so let's use this. However it comes out, I'm gonna use that. So image style. Let's take this out. Delete. We bring in another image, and we use this guy. So I think this is a white background. Yes, it is. Okay, tiny ball, will work. Let's just manage this. So yeah, we have our logo. We have let's add the title to this slider. Let's call it select measure. Just so the users know what they're looking at measure. I don't like the heading. I want it to just be normal. I don't want it to be 14. I want it to be like 10 or 9. Or let's do 10. Let's centralize it to select measure. And let's see if I can adjust the size of my buttons. Slider settings, selection, single select, slider header values. For border, line width, color, top, bottom, left, right. Okay, I'm trying to see if I can adjust. So let's see padding. Padding is not doing anything for me. Title, no. Effect, not doing anything for me. Properties, general, height. Okay, I think we just leave it like this. So let's go to our cards now. I'm going to add my cards here. I'm going to leave them at the top. I'm going to leave them at the top, and let's add some format. So we're going to stick to this green color. So for my callout values, let's have green, more colors, and usually I would use I'll use a hex code selector to get the color code in this guy, and I think I should do that so you guys learn. So there are some tools that are called hex code finder, for example, and where we can get the hex code of color, so we can use exactly those colors. So I'm going to upload an image and I'm going to get the hex code. So every color has a code, it's called the hex code, right? So I'm going to get the code for those colors so I can use those colors, exactly those colors in my dashboard. So for this color, this is the hex code here. So X is #73BA44. So you can just go to imagecolorpicker.com. So just paste that hex code here, and we have that exact color as the green here. So we have that, and that's for my values. For my label, I think I'll just use black. Yeah, just use black, and there should be a way to adjust the padding between my color values and my labels. Properties, see padding. That's between my and the top, so it's not really adjusting the difference between these two. So let's leave this as this. For my pie chart, let's just come to my pie chart. For my title, or my donut chart rather, for my title, I would call it case type split. So I have case type split, and I'm just going to leave it as case type split. For my legends, I feel like they're too big, so I'm going to reduce their size to 8 or 9, right? For my slices, I'm going to just stick to our color theme here and do so for let's go to our slices, outpatient. Let's use that color that we selected for outpatient. Let's go back to that guy and close this. We want to pick this blue too. Let's copy the hex code. For inpatient, let's use that blue. More colors, and then we paste the hex code and press enter. So we have that exact blue for inpatient. For day case, let's pick something random. Let's pick green. just so there's a distinction. Let's be dark gray. So we have those color themes. Now I'm just going to copy. Remember we talked about copying the format and pasting it here. It's not going to apply exactly the same way, but some things would apply. The color didn't change. Let's go to the column chart, and for our legends, we want to make them 9. 9 is fine. For our columns, we want to add, so let's say from 0 to 15, we want the color to be, let's use that blue. From 16 to 64, let's use our green. For 65 plus, let's use our dark gray. Right, so yeah, that's looking okay. For no inputs, let's use something that just stands out. So okay, this is looking okay. We want to do some adjustments. So for my y-axis, I don't want the title to be on. In fact, I don't even want I don't want the values to be on. So I just want, let's see if we can turn on data labels for that too. So turn on data labels, and we have data labels there. For title, the chart title itself, let's call it time band and age group. Is it age profile? Time band and age profile analysis. We can just leave it at this. I'm going to copy the format, even though it's not going to be applied. Just paste it here, so at least we can get something out of the way. For example, we don't have to change the background. So let's adjust some things here. Let's go to visuals and call out values. Let's reduce them, they're too big. Let's do 10 for call out values. 10 is fine. For category labels, let's keep it at 8. I'm trying to see if I can reduce this size of this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's quite large. I don't want to have any filters there, any scroll bars rather. So do we need to have category labels? No, we don't need to. We are fine this way. We're fine this way. So let's go back to call out values. Let's keep it at 9, or let's do 10. We don't have category labels. For the card, the title is big. Let's reduce the title to not too small, so 9 or 10. Let's see how we can reduce the padding. So reducing the padding would work, so we can see all 5 without having to scroll. I'm going to reduce it further. Yes, we can see all that without having to scroll. So this blue is not with our concept, so let's change this blue to, do we do green? We're having too much green. Let's do that blue. So yeah, accent bar, we can change the accent bar color to, let's do dark gray, and that's that bar by the side. So yeah, coming up. So for this guy, the chart now, let's apply format painter and apply that format paint. Okay, so I see this, there's some change here immediately. We want to remove this. We want to add a title here. Totally forgot. Top 5 specialty. That should be the title name. going to call it top 5 specialty. So yeah, we have the top 5 specialty. Okay, so you can adjust that banding again. So we are going to adjust the padding, and where did we have that? We had that in cards, I believe. Let's adjust the padding. Let's reduce the padding a bit to 10, and I think we have that okay here. So I don't like the title in each visual. I don't like the style for the title. Let's reduce the size first of all. Maybe, you know, let's make it another font. Nope, not working. Let's do Segway UI semi-bold. I think I'm more comfortable with this. Let's see if I can change everything at once. I can't because they are not the same data type. So let's do again title. We're going to use Segway UI semi-bold. Yeah, so we do that for this Segway UI semi-bold at 12. So we've not edited the title for this, so let's call this daily trend, outpatient and day case. So let's call this daily trend, outpatient and day case. Yes, and we'll do same for this. We'll call this daily trend. Oh, sorry, this was inpatient. Sorry, daily trend. Inpatient. So let's make sure this is adjusted. This should be inpatient out. I'm mixing it up. Sorry, daily trend outpatient for this. Outpatient. This is daily trend inpatient and day case. Inpatient and day case. Should be a gap between that dash and outpatient. I think outpatient is not just one word. I feel like it's a compound word. Not too sure, but I feel like it's a compound word. You know what? Let's leave it as one word. So these are the same type of charts. Let's just apply same formats. So all right, great. So we are good. We have all this, and our dashboard is looking good so far. I have some ideas. You know what? Let's move. I'm going to move this guy here to the top by this side. I'm going to adjust the height of some of my visuals. So I'm going to adjust the height just a little bit. I'm going to move this. So we have this guy here. I'm going to move this. Okay, great. So let's increase the height of this. And probably move it here. Increase the height of this as well. So I'm thinking of how to adjust this guy. Okay, so I'm going to add a rectangle to behind each of these visuals just to sort of make it pop. Um, let's bring in a rectangle, insert, let's do shapes, rectangle. I want these rectangles to be white. The shape, the style, I want it to be white, no transparency, no border, and we're going to move it backwards. So I'm going to go to format and send to back. So it can be behind this guy here. So yeah, so we have the rectangle here. We're going to just adjust it a bit. Okay, so maybe move it a bit to, or maybe just move the chart itself out a bit. So press my left case. Let's move this. So I have this. I'm going to duplicate or replicate the rectangle. Control C, Control V. We're going to use that rectangle for the bar chart as well. Again, we're going to send it to the back. Right, so we have the bar chart within our rectangle. I'm just going to make sure it looks okay. I'm going to remove this x-axis bar chart title. So x-axis title would go. I don't like that time band showing there. Great, so now I think this is better. And okay, so we have these two. Nice. I'm going to move this up so it's well aligned. So we're going to replicate these two for Ctrl C, Ctrl V for this visual as well. So we are going to send this to the back. All right. So so let's adjust this a bit so it fits inside our it's called a bounding box. So we have a top 5 specialty, and yeah, we're looking okay. Let's adjust. I really don't like the scroll wheel. So cards padding, we're going to reduce the padding some more. Let's do 5. Okay, and this is okay. I think there's a general padding I want to adjust as well. Effects, visual border, properties, should be under properties. Let's make this 10, and that will be the distance between the space between the top. Okay, so let's make it 5 then. Okay, so we have that. So again, we would replicate these boxes, Control C, Control V, and we basically want them here and here. So again, as usual, we send them to the back of the visual. So just as I've done, I don't want this here. Yeah, I'm gonna remove it. So x-axis and shut down title. So we have that. Replicate the bounding box again, Control C, Control V. and we bring that here, right? And again, we send to the back. Great. And we just ensure it's well within that box. Again, shut off the x-axis title. Personal preference of mine, you don't have to do yours that way. So we have this. I'm going to leave this way. I think it's fine this way. We need a title, but we're going to put that soon. Let's add another slicer for to slice by specialty. We created a specialty group, so we can see by different specialty groups. So let's add another slicer, and we are going to drag specialty group to that slicer. I want to maintain this type, so I'm just going to format and paste. And our specialty group is a lot, so let's just do something we can, there's going to be a scroll wheel here definitely, and we'd have to scroll to see the different specialty groups. Oh, you know what, better still, I feel like we can just use a drop down instead of a tile because of how much data we have in our slicer. So we can have a title that says select specialty group, specialty. Again, our titles, I did change them to semi-bold, and I think I did 12. Well, let's keep the filters for 10. You know what, I'm just going to form, no. These are DIN and 10, so let's maintain DIN and 10 for the filters. DIN and 10, yeah. So fine, select measure, select specialty group. And we can always filter, and see, ugly. Let's edit the specialty groups. For slicer setting, we choose drop down selection. We don't want single select, we can do multiple select. We should even have a select all if we want. We don't want slicer headers, values, we don't want borders around the values. I don't want any border, but let's put a bottom border. Let's see if we do bottom border alone, there's a border by the bottom. I don't like it. Values, the values are too large. Let's do 9. Okay, right. So background, I mean, we could make it okay, it's transparent already. Okay, so we have select specialty group. So let's do select all. We can select all, we can select individual, or once select individual, we do blood. You can see how blood is. We do child care. Okay, we do teeth, just dental surgery, psychiatry. Okay, so it works. Bones. Let's keep it as select all. So yeah, we can filter by that. We can filter by date as well. So let's add another slicer. I'm just going to copy this one and paste it. Ctrl+C, Ctrl+V. And instead of specialty group, let's filter by date, by archive date. And for archive dates, we want, let's change the date type to slicer settings. Instead of a drop down, let's do between. So between will give us two, again it's not, it should give us two dates, yeah, or decide the width is too small. You know, let's just do before. So the width is generally too small, so maybe I move this somewhere else and do between. Right, so the width is too small, so we could come here and say, you know what, not looking good. I should have had this wider so I can actually fit this in. So and I don't want to have to increase the size of these guys. If I put this here, can I move things over? Nah, I'm just gonna drop this. Would have loved to put it there, but you can make yours wider and fit it in there, but I'm just gonna leave it out. We can filter for adults or children, right? So Control C, Control V. We can slice by adult or children. So we can select if we want to see adults or children. Title will change to select adult or child. Okay, so I want a tile for this one. I don't want a drop down. I want a tile. I don't want select all. Okay, there should be select all actually, in case we do have. Okay, no, let's do a drop down. All right, so we can select if we want adults, children, and we have blanks. So let's do only adults. What about children? So we have children. Okay. So we have that filter there. So let's add a title, and I'm sure we are fine. So we're going to insert the text box. Insert the text box, and we're just going to call this clinic waitlist dashboard. Let's make it bold. Let's change the color to that green that we've always used, and let's move it here. Right, so the background as well, I want no background. So to make with this dashboard, let's make it 12. So you can always add a subtext if you want. I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay, you know what, let's add a subtext. You can add this also in this same text box. You don't need to actually create a separate text box for that. Maybe create say something like, let's change this. It shouldn't be bold anymore. It should be black. So we could just say something like this dashboard shows the wait list status in the hospital, something like that. I feel like it's too large, so I can make it a 10, and I could even italize it sort of stands out. And yeah, so we have that subtext here. Um, so I feel like we're good. I feel like we're done. Thinking of adding something. Thinking of doing something. I'm going to duplicate this page, and I'm duplicating because I want to do something. Let's call this page details, right? And I'm going to remove everything. I'm going to delete everything. I'm going to delete it all. And I want to create on this page a detailed page, or a detailed something that details everything we have in our dashboard. So let's bring in a new visual. Let's bring in a matrix. Sort of, bring in a matrix. Matrix, like I said, is just like a pivot table, and we can bring in some fields in this matrix. So we can have archive dates as zeros. So we want to see, we can break it down into daily, weekly, and monthly. Right, so we can break it down. We can further break this down into monthly etc. But let's leave it at month level first. So I'm gonna just leave it at quarter level for now. We'll leave it like this. And for my columns, I want to bring in average wait list. Let's just bring in my columns average wait list. Oh no. That wouldn't work. That wouldn't work. It should be my values rather. So for my column, I want to see by specialty group. Let's do by specialty group so we can see year and each specialty group. And I want to see average wait lists in my values. I could actually, let's make it it's something that changes, that could change, right? So let's do values here. Let's add that measure, total average or median, something that could change. So we can always decide to see median. We can always decide to see average. I want to adjust it. I don't like the decimal points in my values. I don't like the decimal points in my values. So sorry, I'm selecting slicer. So in my values, where is my values? Title, effect, data format. Looking for values. In my values, I want to adjust the decimal points. Column headers, row headers, totals. You know what, let's just go to the measure itself and change the decimal point to no decimal point. Let's do 0. So I don't want decimal points in that value. Yeah, so I think we're good. So we can see average, we can see median. So we could also, that filter that I wanted to add before, that I wasn't able to add, I can add it here in the details. So my end users can always, adjust what timeline they want to see. So my end users can always adjust what timeline they want to see. So I'm going to bring in that filter again. And we're going to add archive date. That's what we want to slice by. And yeah, so this is what I want. I don't want any backgrounds. I want a slider. I want a slider. The slider is this guy here. Well, let's add a slider. Slider setting between general effects, no background. You know what? I don't like the slider. I'm not feeling the slider. So we can say, instead of say archive date, we can say select date range. We can say select date range. We'll do 10. We'll do 10. So yeah, we have this. Let's call this dashboard. So now we can always see between these two pages. So we can also insert buttons to our charts. So we can insert buttons, and buttons help us navigate, right? So we can do page navigator. So if we bring in, you can see we have our buttons here now. We can always just, adjust that. We can go to shape, change the shape to something, carbon, whatever it is you want. Whatever it is you want, we can change the shape. So let's just, select Snip tab, something like this. And, I'm not feeling this shape. Let's do rotation. No rotation, let's do style. I want the font color to be green. And I actually don't want any shape. I want to turn off my background. Background is turned off. I don't want any shape. And let's just stick to the rectangle. Basically, we can copy this, come to our second sheet, and we can paste it here. So now we can always, click, and it takes us to the next page when we deploy this. So yeah, we're done with our dashboard. Um, we're done with our dashboard. If I hold Alt and I click on details, it should take me to details. Maybe Alt or Control. So hold down Control and click on details. It should take me to the details. So basically, this is our dashboard, and I hope you've been able to find your way here as well. One last thing you can always do, and basically you need to actually have Power BI service to do this, is you can publish your dashboard, but you need to have a Power BI service account to do this. And how do you create a Power BI service account? You could go on your browser and search for create Power BI service account. And you would need a work email, an official email. So you can't use your personal email for this. You need an official email for this. So if you go there and if you have an official email and you click on one of the links, it shows you how to create it. So this is not the link we're looking for. So basically you want to go to app.powerbi.com. So app.powerbi.com. I have my account logged in, so I think it's not going to ask me to sign up again. I have a Microsoft Power BI service account. It's a free trial anyways, but yeah, I do have one. But you need to go to app.powerbi.com and you can use your work email to create an account. When you do create that account, and if you do create that account, you can actually come into Power BI and sign in your Power BI desktop and sign in with your credentials, and then you can publish. So when you click on publish, it says, "So I want to save my change." Yes, I want to save my change. And I can publish to Power BI service and basically share that link to people within my organization, and they can always view I'm going to save it to my workspace, and people within my organization can always view that Power BI report, and even people external to my organization. So it's publishing my account, it's publishing to my account, and we're going to view it on Power BI itself and Power BI service itself. So we can open it in Power BI service, and you can see people within my organization would have access to this report. So I have access to these reports in my Power BI, so I can actually view the reports, etc. And this is your Power BI reports. So yeah, that is the Power BI service. Now, this brings us to the end of our Power BI creation, and in the next few videos, you are going to be taking on some portfolio projects of your own, and hopefully you can complete them. And please ensure you tag me on LinkedIn if you're on LinkedIn. My profile is, you can always find my profile. My profile is Damilare A on LinkedIn. You can always tag me and ask questions, and I would always be willing and offering to help. So this is my profile. I'm bringing it up to my screen. You can always tag me when you create yours. So yeah, this is my LinkedIn. You can always tag me. So please try to get to this stage, and see you in the next video where we talk about the projects you will be working on. See you soon.